Hey everybody, welcome to another video here on the No Code Otis YouTube channel. So I wanted to just take some time to show you guys a really incredible system that I've just finalized, and it's an improvement from my previous system. So if you've watched my previous video on how to automatically create Zoom meeting reports, this is basically that, but a little bit better, and it's significantly more affordable because, and I'll get into the video, because Grok AI, they are currently offering $150 in free credit every month as long as you opt into data sharing. And with that credit amount, you can do all of this basically at no charge. So anyway, so in today's video, what I'm going to show you guys is this new automation that I've developed, that it just essentially takes a meeting transcript. So for example, here's a meeting that I had the other day with a team, and there's just a ginormous transcript, blah blah blah. So it was a 2-hour long meeting. And essentially what we're going to do is take this transcript. The only manual task in this whole system is acquiring the transcript and sending it to the automation through a form. So I would take this transcript, download it right here, download transcript, and I'd upload it to a pre-made form. And it would essentially create this beautiful, extremely comprehensive meeting summary. It produces a title, so we know what the meeting was kind of about, the date, the participants, how long the meeting lasted, an overview, so a TLDR section, key discussion points, action items, next steps, and a conclusion. And on cherry on top is we can also have it create a PDF version. So some people, in my experience, I've realized some people just like to have PDFs as opposed to just emails. So in this way, you can't do that as well. It offers that very simply. And again, this is 100% automated. This, aside from the fact that you got to actually acquire the transcript and upload it to a form, the entire production is automated. So if that sounds interesting or of value to you guys, let's go ahead and hop into make.com. All right, so here we are inside of make.com. This is my automation that I created, which will be available for free in the description. Just click the link and download it, import it into your make.com account, and you're ready to go. So essentially the way it works is we have a form trigger. So all the way in the beginning, we have a form. It's just watching a form being submitted, and I use Tally as my form software. It is 100% free to use. There is a paid version, but it's just not necessary unless you're doing very specific things. So the free version is fantastic. I highly recommend it. And then we're going to do essentially, because sometimes let me go ahead and show you the form, what it looks like on the front end. So here's the form, and essentially you guys will just need to recreate this. I'll provide a link to this form as in the front end, like what you're seeing right here. I'll provide it in the description as well, but you guys are going to have to create your own form either on Tally or somewhere else. Doesn't really matter, just you got to recreate it. And essentially what I would do is I would set my email address here so that I get the report sent to myself. This can technically be automated, so you don't actually have to do this. If you're going to be sending the email to the same email address, the same email address of yours every time, you can, do away with this. That's why I've set it. That's why I set it to not required. The meeting date, this is important. You want to set the date for this. Who do you want to send the report to? And just list out the email addresses of the people that you want to send the report to via email. Who are the attendees? So just list their names. Does it have to be super formal? I just usually do comma separated values or, by line break. And then here's something a little bit important. So is the transcript, so essentially how are you going to, in what format is your transcript? So is it text? And if it's text, you just paste that all in there. The only problem is that there is a $40,000 character limit. I said dollar, a 40,000 character limit. So it may or may not be able to fit entirely here. So my recommendation is just to do a file. And if you use Zoom, Zoom does provide the transcripts as a VTT file, which is my recommendation. I think it works the best. But if you're stuck with text, I've created 2 fields to hopefully compensate for that limit. If you need even more than that, then, when you make your form, just create additional fields, essentially. But anyways, I usually do the file format, and then I upload it there, submit, bada bing, bada boom. It triggers this automation. So what this next module is doing is extracting the email addresses. So like we saw earlier, if we have, different people we want to send this to, it's going to just extract all the email addresses accordingly so that we can send it to each of them individually. We don't want to do a mass send. Personally, I don't want to do that. I like to send it individually so they feel important, but that's just me. So, all right. And the next module is parsing the output from here. The reason for that is because at the moment, Grok does not have the ability to parse JSON, essentially JSON, within itself. So we used to use a parse JSON module, no big deal. And then we're going to do an array aggregator, which essentially is just, taking all of the emails that are found. So in this case, we found 3 emails, 1, 2, 3. We want to make it into an array. so that we can then use it later individually. So we have 3 separate emails, right? Cool. If you don't know how to use array aggregators, that's not really the purpose of this video, but if you need a more tutorial on that, just, drop a comment and I can explain a little bit further in a separate video. Now, we have 2 different routes, and this is just whether or not the transcript is being provided as a file or a text. So if it's a file, it's going to go this route. If it's a text, it's going to go this route. They're essentially the exact same thing, with the only difference being this additional module, which is the get a file HTTP request, which is essentially to download the transcript that was uploaded. So if you uploaded a file, you need to actually acquire that file and make it usable within the rest of the automation. Mainly for the large language model, it needs to be able to access the data within the file, which again is why I really recommend using a VTT file. It's just, it's very reliable, it's very effective, and it also provides timestamps. So it's really good. So essentially we download that file and we map the data that was downloaded into this AI model. Now, the whole prompt is going to be already in there. So again, download the blueprint, it's all going to be in there. And essentially what we're feeding it is we're just telling it, hey, you're an intelligent assistant skilled at summarizing meetings into a structured and professional format, optimized for actionability and clarity. Now, we instructed that it needs to output in JSON format with the summary in Markdown ATX format and the title as a plain string. Do not include any comments, conversational marks, blah, blah, blah. So essentially, we're trying to get it to only output a JSON result so that we can parse it and use it down the line. And we want to make sure that the actual transcript, the summary is in Markdown format. And the reason for this is because Markdown formatting is like nicely formatted. Essentially, there's headings, there's bold, there's bullet points, there's spacing. It's really nice right off the bat. So we want that because in order to create the document and the emails later, it's just going to make our life a lot easier, and it's going to look a lot prettier, and the intrinsic value is going to be a lot higher. So that's the reason for that. And then the user role, we're just telling it what to do, essentially, like this is your task right now. So given the transcript and additional information, generate a comprehensive meeting summary. The response must be a valid JSON object with the following structure. So we provide it with the structure to follow. All right, title is one part of it, and it's just telling you, hey, it's just a string, just text, and then the summary, and it's in Markdown format. This is a string, a long string, but it's in Markdown format, right? And then here is the information that's going to be used to the data that it's going to work with. So the meeting date, I use the format date function simply because I don't like the way that it's formatted right out of Tally. I like it to be formatted the way that we use in America, month, day, year. And then meeting participants of who attended the meeting. This is all data from the form submission. And then the meeting transcript, this is the only thing that's different. This is from the HTTP request to download that file. Now, again, it's essentially the exact same thing, both routes, with the only difference being that you're not acquiring a file, you're already using text. So the only difference is the meeting transcript, what it's pulling is the fields from the form, which I have 2 in my case. I have the paste in the transcript below, and then the extended transcript, as you remember here, just in case it's too long. So I have 2 fields. So essentially back to back, I'm just mapping that into the LLM. Awesome. Parse JSON, again, like earlier, it's just to actually make this feasible within make.com. JSON is the language that make.com uses. So we parse that. Here's the output, for example. We got the title as one object and the summary as another object. This is perfect. And again, it's in Markdown formatting. Notice all these random little tags. These are all just formatting variables. It's really great stuff. And then the next step we're going to do is convert the JSON, so the output from the large language model that gets parsed. We're going to convert the Markdown formatted summary, as you can see here, into HTML. And again, I have another video on the channel specifically on this as to why this is the way that it is. But in order to make a document within Google Docs beautiful, actually visually appealing, you need to provide the input as HTML because it's able to actually read that information properly. So we convert the Markdown into HTML so that the Google document looks nice, and we import that. All right. So the name, I have it called meeting summary, and the title. So again, the AI is generating a specific object for the title and a specific object for the summary. So I have it mapped out that way. The content is the HTML. So that's the output from the Markdown to HTML module. And then just select where you want to put it. Obviously, that's going to be different for you. And then I have the download as a PDF. This is just downloading a document. So essentially the document that was created right here, we're mapping the ID. So if you look right here, document ID, map that right there. And then I'm going to download it as a PDF. That's my preference. You can do any of the other options if you want to. Hit save, you're good to go. And then we're basically done. Now we're just going to email it. So I have two separate modules. One to email myself because it's always going to be the same email address. Please don't email me. And again, the same thing. The meeting summary is the same. Sorry, the subject is the same. You can call it whatever you want. That's what I have it set to. The content is, again, the output from the Markdown to HTML module. And then I'm attaching a file, which is the Google Docs download a document module, the one right before the email, because we want to attach that to the email as an attachment. And then we have an iterator module, which is referencing way back to the earlier stages of this scenario, which is the array, which, if you remember, is right here, which we're iterating. We're essentially aggregating all the emails that were found so that we can essentially send an email one at a time to each email that is found. So you guys in theory could do it all at once. I don't prefer doing that, but it's just preference. So essentially it just does it 3 times. In my case, we'll have 3 emails and it sends the exact same email essentially, but 3 times. So we have 3 different operations, one for each email. So this was 1 email, the second email, and the 3rd email. So in a nutshell, that's how it works. Now, I don't particularly want to run a whole test because I don't want to use up unnecessary operations. But that's how it works, guys. It's fantastic. Let me go ahead and show you again the end result. Here is, that's not it. Oh, sorry, it's my email. Here it is. Here's the end result in the email form. I don't know why I can't open it now, but anyways, here is what it looks like. Fantastic. We looked it over in the beginning again. And the cool thing about this is that you guys can update the prompt, as you deem fit. If there's any changes you want to do, or if you wanted to specifically follow the exact same structure every time, you can work on, language prompting, just sorry, not language prompting, prompt engineering. You just got to work with it, run some tests, and make sure that it's up to par with what it is, with what it is that you want to have it produce. But yeah, guys, essentially that's how it works. It's end to end. It's fantastic. Again, I will provide the blueprint in the description below. It's incredibly easy to use, very hands off. Again, the only thing that you have to do manually is going to be creating the form and then connecting that form to your automation. So again, I recommend Tally. It's really easy, but you can do whatever you want. Type form, jot form. I mean, there's a billion and one different forms software out there. So just choose the one you like. Make sure you connect it to your automation, and then obviously update all the connections where needed, wherever it's referencing back to your form, and you're good to go, guys. It's a very powerful system. If you have any questions or concerns or anything's confusing, please don't hesitate to drop a comment below and I'll do my best to answer them. God bless you. Thanks for watching. This has been Otis, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.